Hello, and welcome to the latest video and update of PUBG Mobile. This is the world of PUBG Mobile tutorials. In this video, I will clearly teach you the settings and changes that have recently come to PUBG Mobile. First, there have been significant changes in the download section that are very useful for those experiencing lag and bugs. First, we have the new version preload option. Keep this disabled. If this option is enabled, anything new added to the game will be automatically downloaded. For example, if a new outfit is added to the game, it will automatically download, which not only takes up a lot of storage, but also isn't useful for you. Additionally, your download speed will be displayed here. Another important setting that has been added is the option to choose which network to use for downloads, Wi-Fi, mobile data, or both. The best option here is to set this option to disable. Below that, set the option to veteran. The last option is the most important part of this update. Enable it to choose how much the game is allowed to download. If your phone storage is low and you're experiencing lag and bugs, set this to the lowest level to play comfortably. Also, an important note is to keep at least 2 GB of free storage for gaming. Set the option below to only remind to receive reminders about storage and downloads. If you don't want downloads to occur automatically, disable this option here. In the advanced control section, the firing mode display button option is available. If you set this to separate, you can separate the single option from your weapon controls and place it wherever you want. Now, let's finalize all the settings. Let's get started. First, we have the basic controls section. Keep this option at default, as changing them won't improve your gameplay. In this section, if you set the display left sight button to scope on, you won't have the fire option on the left side when not scoped, and it activates only when you zoom in. This setup is not ideal, so try not to get used to it. If you disable it, it disappears completely, and you won't find it in either the non-scoped or scoped modes. The best option is to set it to always on. I recommend using this fire option for close combat and switching to the left fire option when engaging in long-range fights with a scope. Now it's time for the scope settings. Set the scope mode to hold. In this mode, as long as your hand is on the zoom option, you'll remain scoped in. As soon as you lift your finger, you'll exit zoom. This setup is great because it significantly increases your gameplay speed, allowing you to quickly switch between different targets. Next, disable the camera rotation while a DS option. This way, you won't be able to move the scope with touch. You'll only be able to adjust it using the gyroscope. I don't recommend this for non-gyro players. For this section, set the tap to use option. Adjust the focal length adjustment to tap and enable the quick scope switch. With this setup, you can switch scopes on any weapon without having to access your backpack. Now, let's set up the peek section. Set the peek mode to mixed. This way, you'll have both tap and hold modes. For the first second, it will be in tap mode, and after that, it switches to hold. Also, disable the camera rotation while leaning option. This is not recommended for non-gyro players, as you won't be able to move the peek option with touch. It can only be adjusted using the gyroscope. For the peek and open scope option, you should adjust it based on your preference. Personally, I don't use this option at all, as I find it not very helpful. Now, let's set up the advanced controls section. Keep the 3 options at their default settings and disable the mark assist option. For the jump climb option, set it to separate. This gives you 2 jump options, one for jumping and shooting without climbing over walls, and the other specifically for climbing walls. These are very useful, so be sure to take advantage of them. If you enable the merge crouch prone option, pressing the crouch button for more than a second will automatically switch your character to a prone position. This option is not recommended for beginners. Lastly, set the throwables quick wheel to switch. With this setting, you can easily select grenades, smoke, or fire by dragging left, right, or forward after clicking on them. This is one of the most important options in settings, so make sure to use it. Set the option that is not useful by default and keep the FPP swap option enabled. Also, activate the quick throw option. When this option is active, by holding down on it, you can directly activate and throw smoke or fire grenades from there. To clarify, you can activate grenades using the right or left shooting option. But when this option is active, you can activate them by holding over the grenade. There's another important option that you need to activate, the Throw Consumables option. When this option is active, you can throw supply boxes to your friend, especially when you are surrounded by enemies and cannot reach your friend. For example, I throw these one by one. He can use everything that has been thrown there. In this section, we have the slide option. By activating it, you can slide by pressing the crouch option while the joystick is pushed forward. When the slide option is disabled, you cannot slide. This is suitable for those who fight with the M416. Activate the FPP dynamic holding option from this section. Also, while enabling this option, make sure to keep the FPP swap option active as well. By activating these two options, you will have significantly more visibility in the FPP mode compared to before. Adjust the FPP and TPP options to the highest possible size. Once you do this, you will have the maximum visibility in both FPP and TPP modes. Some players refer to it as iPad view. From this part, if you set the sprint sensitivity option to the lowest size possible, your character moves very slowly and the game won't be enjoyable at all. To make your character move quickly, set this option to 100. When it's at 100, you can move very fast and effortlessly, playing like a professional player. From this section, enable this option and set the mark style option to modern. In modern mode, you have a much easier and better gameplay experience, meaning when you mark an enemy, you can see the distance between you and them. Additionally, when you want to shoot at the enemy, your mark changes to a faint color, making it easier to see the enemy. Also, you should set the main screen audio marker option to classic mode. In this mode, you can understand how many enemies are present and their locations. There are 2 more enemies remaining here. Let's adjust the section related to aim. First, disable the aim assist option. Then, below this option, enable the auto mark hit location option. When this option is activated, if you hit an enemy, a mark will automatically appear on them, showing you their distance and location. This is very useful because even if your teammate hits an enemy, it will still show a mark for you. This way, you can help your friend in taking down the enemy. A very important option is the block sight warning option. Make sure to disable it. If it's enabled, your aim will be blocked behind any cover, slowing down your gameplay. However, if you disable it, you can start aiming and have a fast and smooth game. Leave the other settings in this section at their default values, as changing them won't improve your gameplay. If your game's graphics are terrible and you experience a lot of lag and bugs with low FPS, apply the settings I'm suggesting. Remember, this section is for FPS, so set it to the highest level you can. This section may vary on different devices, so adjust these settings carefully to eliminate your lag and bugs. Now, you should have excellent graphics and quality without lag or bugs. Also, use this sensitivity that is perfectly adjusted and has 0 recoil. If the video was helpful, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. You can also find useful content and codes on our Telegram channel. Thank you.